I feel like I gotta say this. Anytime I be saying I be praying the best for family members and everybody else, I also be praying for everybody else too. It don't just be family, yo. That's just the honest truth. Like I think when it come to like peace and joy and all that, and um maintaining your composure to remain peaceful and loving and all of that, I think that everybody try to choose when to be loving. You know what I mean? It's always easier to be loving when you're going through a good time, or you having a bad time. I mean, but when you're going through a bad time, you know what I'm saying? It kind of sort of seems like that's not really a choice because it's like you going through it. You having a good time, you just having a good time. But when you going through something, it's like, damn, I got to go through this. You feel me? So, um, man, when I started getting like when I started praying more, I started realizing it was changing me a lot more because I started praying a lot more for like more people and stuff, yo. But what made me so upset and what still got me upset is I think a lot of people just try to play me for a fool. I believe a lot of people try to play me for a fool. When I left South Carolina, came back to Michigan for 2 weeks in, late June 2024. And then I came to Cali for those, in July 2024, stayed there for 11 months. I wasn't even expecting things to happen the way it happened. I wasn't expecting to go to my cousin's funeral. You feel me? I wasn't expecting that. I was like still staying in Cali. I wasn't expecting on like staying back in Michigan as long as I did. I wasn't expecting on jumping on the flight, then going to Florida. I wasn't expecting none of that. That was not my plan. That wasn't what I was trying to do at all. I had my mind made up. I'm working on something over here. I want to keep it to myself. Go from there. I already messed up with cussing a lot of people out. You learn from your mistakes. You live, you learn, and you move on you try to find a way to move on for the better. So sometimes I reflect on when I was going off on my family members and cussing them out and stuff. And I pay attention to the build up. I pay attention to everything that was going on in that town. Like people don't understand how frustrating it is when you address something, you speak on something that's around you, and then you address the people that surround you, and you tell them what's going on, and they do the same exact thing right in your face, yo. That is so frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So imagine you let it be known, yo, my phone keep getting hacked, people keep hacking in my phone. And then you call the cell phone store. You call customer service, customer care, or Apple. And while you on the phone with Apple customer care, is somebody hacking in your phone. That's probably like 20 feet away from you, hacking your phone in California. You know what I'm saying? Or you in South Carolina, and you talking about what got you on edge, was aggravating you, was starting to really get to the point where it's getting on your nerves in the worst way. And you speak on how you went to the library one day. You started talking to this one lady at the library. She was cute. You wanted to get this one lady number. You started talking to this one lady. Then some gay man came along and just tried to flirt with you. And like, it don't get more disrespectful than that. Like, you see me talking to this lady, you know I'm not gay. You gonna play with me? Imagine like releasing a video talking about that. Then you do something like go to a restaurant the next day and you go get you a burger, and then some gay dude at the restaurant saw the video that you released, and then he jump online and play games with your name and play around with you, like, and make up a lie about you, say you was flirting with him. You know what I'm saying? You go to Five Guys or some shit like that, and some gay dude at Five Guys make up a lie about you before you get back to the crib in St. George, South Carolina. That happened to me one time when I was in Somerville, South Carolina. I could talk for days about this. I just want to, man, look. A lot of times when I go through a lot of fucked up stuff in life, the first thing I do is try to like look at myself, and I be trying to say, okay, I'm gonna just say it's my fault immediately, and then I'm gonna start trying to decipher why it's my fault. That's the first thing, but I gotta stop thinking like that sometimes because sometimes it can be unhealthy. Um, so if I feel like I lied about something, or if I feel like I over exaggerated something, I just say, man, it all was a lie. Like a lot of stuff that I said, hey, it wasn't true, and I just wanted to move on for the better, even if it was the truth. I just rather say like, no, some of that stuff wasn't true. Some of that stuff was exaggerated. I just rather say, hey, it's all my fault. It's my bad. My apologies. A lot of stuff I said wasn't true. Hey, I just hope and pray the best. You know what I'm saying? And move on from there. But what I don't be expecting is when I do that, when I basically speak up like that, what I don't be expecting is other people to try to like make things worse after that. You feel me? I've gotten to a point where I think like a lot of people got a motive to do manipulating things. They'd be more motivated to manipulate a scenery than anything else. I'm gonna just give a quick example. Let's say I be like, hey, you got a couple dollars I can hold right quick. I'm gonna run to the store. You know what I'm saying? And then whoever you talking to, they pause for a minute. They don't say nothing. And then like a couple minutes later, they'll be like, hey, what you need some money for? You don't know that they recorded you. You don't know that they chose to jump on their phone and start recording you. And they recording themselves asking, hey, what you need some money for? They know you by now. So they know at least that you gonna be aggravated or agitated by, basically getting the third degree or asking for something. So they gonna record you and try to make a mockery of you at that exact moment. You ain't gonna know anything about it. That's just an example. I also want to say this, yo. The whole time I was living in Florida, from December 2013, all the way up until June 2018, people hacked in my Google accounts, yo. People literally hacked in my CraigBread at Gmail Google account and other Google accounts, and then was taking my pictures and videos and giving them to other people and trying to make it look like that I was passing around pictures and videos. That happened to me, yo. That happened. Going to my Google accounts, making them lies. You can't even, I said a long time ago, it was so many times I walked away from lawsuits because I could have sued. You can't record somebody without their knowledge and Florida like that. I could have, it was times I could have done a lot of stuff I chose not to do. You know how many videos that people got still floating around the internet that they literally hacked in my account and took that I didn't send out to anyone at all? You know what I'm saying? But I walked away from all of that. I walked away from all them companies that tried to that people worked at that tried to frame me and sabotage me or set me up by putting something in my possession or just vandalizing my shit. I walked away from all of that. One, I don't care about money like that. And two, I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be going back and forth trying to build up lawsuits on people. But it got so bad to the point where it was like, yo, I got to speak up. I got to say I'm about to do this right here because if I don't say this, people going to keep on doing stupid shit. So imagine you letting it be known, hey, I reached out to this lawyer over here and somebody still hack your fucking phone. You let it be known, hey, I'm not with all that bullshit over there, and then somebody still make up some lie about you and try to frame you, and they'll do it right in your face. So it's kind of sort of like, nigga, we're going to do whatever we want to do. And it's a lot of people saying, where's, you getting your sources from, AJ? Where's this coming from? Who's doing all this crazy stuff? Who doing all this foul shit? But when somebody can actually put a falsified demo on your phone and then hack it to your IG and then message people all day and then tell them what else they can do and then tell them what else they will do. So this is the point I'm making. There's a lot of people that's done this for quite some time now. I don't even know at this point in time why people still be doing that shit. But like I said, when I moved to Cali, I think a lot of people moved in a scandalous way. Then they tried to frame me. Yeah, lately I've been thinking about when they sent me to that tiny home unit number 15 and they put me in there with this schizophrenic dude. That same exact day that dude told me, I'm not no fool, yo. You know what I'm saying? I feel like something been off, something been weird. So even back in late October, early November 2024, when that dude walked in that shelter with that shank on him, and he said he found it under some bridge or something like that, I went walking right down 3rd Street, just looking around because I felt like something wasn't right. I went walking right down 3rd Street, yo. They was building looked like they was building some apartment complex over there or something like that. I went walking right down that area around all that shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like something just not right. It ain't like that I was just walking around aimlessly on some confused type shit the whole time I was there. It was confusion going on when I was in LA, but I still feel like God was telling me more than anything else, this ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? This is wrong what they doing to you. And if I can convince somebody a lie about somebody else or convince people that this person is a part of something that they're not a part, then everything that man say go look contradicted after that. So people try to make me look like that I was a part of something, and people try to make me look like that I had some type of mental illness. That way when I start talking, everybody immediately contradicts me. They immediately don't believe the shit that I'm talking about because they immediately say, man, I ain't going with that bullshit before I even start talking. You know what I'm saying? They already has stopped me from talking. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, but they mute me off immediately. Once they realize that, the shit that I'm going through has already been criticized by somebody else. And I've been manipulated, lied on. And I went walking back down 3rd Street and I feel like something just not right, yo. I went walking all the way I went walking all the way, like, what's the name of that street, man? I went walking all the way down First Street, I believe. I think the name of that street is First, or that's the street that the number one bus go down. The same street that sit on MacArthur Park, yo. What's the name of that street? I went walking all the way down that street, just walking and praying to God, like, God, please give me direction. Please help me understand what's going on. It was plenty times when I was in LA, I was doing that, walking around. Like, I feel like it was times almost, man. I'm gonna just watch what I say online, because if I say it was times I was about to just walk up to a driveway or knock on the door and ask, you know, if there's somebody here or like somebody being held captive type shit, people go try to say, oh yeah, that nigga was definitely wild, that nigga was tripping, that nigga had mental problems. I still remember some guy way back in like 2019 or something like that in St. Petersburg, Florida. I think this was St. Pete. I think it was. Knocked on some family door, and said that he heard a voice tell him that it was somebody being held captive or something in the basement or something like that. And he was wrong. That man was 100% wrong. And he still killed the whole family. That man had some type of mental breakdown, I think. They go converted it to a mental breakdown, but me personally, I think that man was under some type of attack. That man was probably under some type of demonic attack that probably he didn't inflict on himself. It's a lot of people that's out here doing that kind of stuff, yo. My family in St. George, man, look, I got love for everybody, yo. God bless to everybody, including St. George and all that. They used to tell me when I was younger that you got some people in St. George, somebody put something in their drink one day and then they never be the same after that. Drop something off in their drink and they never be the same. They be fucked up. Like, that shit real, yo. People can put shit in your drink, your food, fuck your whole life up. Record you while you unconscious, or record you while you conscious, but just belligerent because you doped up off or whatever, they slipped you or some shit like that, and you'll be saying all kind of crazy shit. Telling you, this shit real. Whole reason why I'm recording this video right now, yo, is because I be thinking sometime when I record these videos, somebody be saying, looking at me like, yeah, nigga, all right, we gonna get you back, or we gonna hurt somebody around you. I'm not wishing that on anybody, but at the same time, I'm not one to basically sacrifice myself and make things way, way, way worse for myself. And I know I've been done dirty and like at times in the past. You know what I'm saying? I know that. You feel me? Like, that bullshit that I went through was uncalled for. It wasn't right. But that still wouldn't make me get mad to the point where I try to wish badness, wish some type of unhealthy situation on my family. Come on, man. How can you justify cooking some food for somebody and then putting drugs in their food? How can you justify being, you know, a senior citizen and then you put something in somebody's food while they, you know, after they just smashed out on your food or something like that, and relying on them to go unconscious and then recording them while they unconscious, or putting something in their possession? How do you justify that? All you can say is you was wrong for that. That's it. So I'm not some idiot that's just saying, hey, I feel like getting done wrong by a bunch of family members. I feel like people doing me wrong in a messed up way and then going on about my day. And by the way, don't mess with them. No, I'm just saying that no matter what I went through, you live, you learn. What I said in the past, yeah, a lot of stuff I said was messed up, but God bless everybody still. And at the same time, I wouldn't sit back and let somebody try to bring harm to my family members. Do that mean that I should go around certain people that did me dirty in the past? No. But I'm not going to sit back and allow something messed up. And especially when it comes to my siblings, yo. No. And if somebody feel like they can insult my intelligence like that, where they can try to bring harm to somebody that's like a sibling of mine or a parent of mine, I feel like you don't really got no love or respect for me, because you wouldn't play me like that. You wouldn't play me for a fool like that. Especially if you try to do something to clone somebody. Yo, come on, man. I just wanted to say that because people will look at me like I'm stupid and like I'm retarded when I start talking about a bunch of foul shit that I've been through in the past. They'll look at me like, no, nigga, you got issues, you got problems. And they'll look at me like that because they'll say you got done wrong by a lot of people. And, nigga, why is you defending the people that did you dirty? I'm not saying that I'm cool with getting hurt and then get hurt again and again and again. All I'm saying is I'm not about to sit back and watch somebody else try to bring harm in it, because what I believe happened, what I peeped out is I think people try to do my family dirty and then try to put that on me. I feel like that's exactly what happened. I had a dream when I was on West Chicago and Terry Street one day, outside of the old house I used to stay at. And it was a lady that lived in that house after me and my mom moved out in December 2013. My brother was supposed to move in that house, but he didn't. My mom ended up selling that house to this one lady in February 2014. So we drove to Fort Myers, Florida, December 2013. I went to St. George, South Carolina in January 2014, stayed there for about a month, and then came back to Fort Myers, Florida on a Greyhound bus. And then I took a drive back to Michigan February 2014 with my mom when we left Fort Myers, Florida, 2014, February 2014. I took a drive back with her because that house was in my name over there on West Chicago and Terry Street, and she was basically selling it to this one lady, this slim, dark-skinned lady, yo. February 2014. You know what I'm saying? I still remember we pulled up there that night. It was one night we put up and we saw somebody peeking out the window. Still to this day, I think that was my cousin with Sean peeping out that window because he told me he was squatting in that house. But I never know. Last time I physically seen him, if that wasn't him on peeking out that window, I never know because we put up there, we just saw the blinds moving, but I didn't even go in there, and we just left. But November 2013, that was the last time I seen him, like physically seen him. Last time I talked to him on the phone was like January 2014. And he was just like, yeah, man, I should have just came there with y'all. I should have just like came to Florida with y'all for a minute. I'm like, yeah, nigga. He told me he was sitting in his pop's garage while he was on the phone with me. That nigga told me like he was literally sitting in his pop's garage at that time. So he was squatting in that house. And the next day, it was this skinny, dark-skinned lady, yo. The slim, skinny, dark-skinned lady. She ended up buying that house. Me and my cousin, JR, and my cousin, Teray, grabbed the stuff out of that house, got the furniture out of that house, and then we moved it to Scooter house, because Scooter had a house on Schoolcraft in Greenfield with his ex-girlfriend, Crystal. This is in February 2014, yo. And I had a dream that the slim, dark-skinned lady, she had a son that was grown, that was a little bit younger than me. And then she had a younger son. And then she had also a husband or a boyfriend or a baby that was the father of her kids. So it was four of them all together, you feel me? That's what I remember. I don't remember this lady's name, but this lady, I had a dream that this lady had she had a coat full. And I unzipped her coat and a whole bunch of cards and envelopes fell out of that coat. And she had a look of guilt on her face and she was crying. And I'm like, what the hell is it? And I was like, is this my mail? And then it's like I unzipped her shirt and a whole bunch of mail and a whole bunch of letters and a whole bunch of envelopes just fell out. So I was under the belief that dream was telling me that a lot of people that lived in Michigan, a lot of people that lived in Southfield at that time, they was under the impression that I was still living in Michigan when I wasn't. Because I was in deep belief that maybe somebody sent me like letters or some shit like that and I never got them. Because I moved to Fort Myers, Florida, December 2013. You feel me? By January 2014, I took a Greyhound bus to Walterboro, South Carolina, got picked up by my cousin Rochelle. I stayed there for about a month. You know what I'm saying? And left like the end of February or the beginning of March of 2014, yo. Came back to Fort Myers, Florida. Took the Greyhound bus back to Fort Myers, Florida. You feel me? And then I drove from Fort Myers, Florida with my mom in a rental car back to Michigan. Because that house was in my name and I had to sign some paper or something to sign that house over. You feel me? By like September, October 2014, Teray hit me up and he told me that the lady that was the next door neighbor to the lady that was the next door neighbor of mine, she had bought that house on Chicago and Terry Street. And she told me that the lady that was living in that house had racked up the light bill under my name. And DTE Energy had basically told them that it was like a bill that was like $2,000 or something. All of that was under my name. And I was like, well, how the hell was she able to turn on DTE? How was she able to turn on a power and a light again after buying that house? And my name wasn't even, the house wasn't even under my name no more. And they said she used a piece of my mail. So in like October 2014, I still remember being on the phone with my cousin Deshaun King, yo, and I was telling him that some lady that stay on Chicago and Terry Street used my name to basically turn the power and the lights back on in that house. So maybe that's what that dream was telling me. I don't know. Maybe that dream was telling me that. Maybe that dream was stating that That lady played me for a fool, but the envelopes that was in her jacket, it was like gifts. It was like gifts and stuff type of envelopes. It was like cards, like birthday cards or something like that, or like there was like there was different colors. There was a whole bunch of like different colors of envelopes. You know what I'm saying? So what I got out of that dream was that lady was looking at me with tears in her eyes, and her coat was like full. And I zipped her coat. Like, what the hell is in your coat? And I zipped it, and a whole bunch of mail fell out. So I don't know what kind of lie that lady told on me. I don't know what the hell she did. All I know is I called DTE Energy, and I told them I stay in Florida. I can't just jump on a flight and take a trip back. And then they basically took that charge off of my name and stuff like that. I could have sued for that. Shit, I could have sued for that. But this lady, that skinny slim lady who had the two sons and the husband or whatever, they moved up out of that house on Chicago and Terry Street. And it was a lady that stayed one house next door to the other house that this old lady stayed in. That was my neighbor. She told Teray to basically let me know that that lady was using my name because Teray knew Teray knew that lady that stayed next door to the other neighbor of mine. So I don't know, yo. One time I had a dream that I was in like a drop top, yo, and my cousin Will was like rapping a song, and he sounded real he sounded like kind of drunk, like his words were slurring and stuff. And I heard my sister voice, I heard Alicia's voice say, "He did you dirty," and he was rapping that dream song, that game song, that dream song. And then it's like I was rapping part of that song, and then I had a towel on. All I had on was a towel. And I was in the back seat. Then some girls that pulled up on the side of me, and I was in a drop top of a car, but I was in the back seat and I had a towel on. I remember trying to like put the towel on to cover myself up. And the girls that was in the drop top was like, oh man, I see it. Then I woke up, yo, and I couldn't understand that dream. It's like I had no clothes on. All I had on was a towel, yo, right in front of the house on Chicago and Terry Street. Man, when I used to drive that cab around, yo, it used to be times some ladies used to jump through the front window of that cab. One time, this girl named Deanna hit me up, but she was like, they saying that there's some guy riding around kissing ladies, some cab driver riding around kissing ladies and stuff like that. I thought she was just joking with me when she said that. Man, when I was driving that cab around, I'm not even exaggerating. It used to be like a window on a cab, in that cab, like in all the cabs that I drove in. I used to just be joking around to see if ladies would do that. It used to be times some of them ladies would jump through the window. They would literally jump through the window. You know what I'm saying? They'd jump through the window to like the window that you open and close and stuff like that. They would literally shit. Those ladies would literally jump through the window, yo, and then jump in the front seat with me and be riding around with me while I be like picking people up and stuff like that. That shit used to happen. So when I think about all the ladies I used to bring into that house on West Chicago and Terry Street back in the day, yo, I don't know who making up a lie. I don't know who kicking some type of bullshit, or like I don't know what like somebody is stating, but I think somebody making up a lie about the house on Chicago on Terry Street. I think somebody said that they came into that house and they never stepped foot in there before, and they acting like they did. No man outside of my family members and Teray homeboys. Like Teray had a couple friends from Finkel back in the day that hung out at that house. The only time niggas ever stepped foot in that house over there in Chicago with like Terry, when I was in that house show, was family members of mine. That's it. If it's some gay dude saying that he stepped foot in my house, he a motherfucking lie, yo. If it's a gay man saying that he stepped foot in the house on Chicago and Terry Street, that is a lie. Flat out, yo. And I didn't bring every lady in that house because that's where my mom stayed at. But I still remember this I remember this one lady. I still be thinking about that shit, though. I'm still thinking about that one girl who stole that cab that day. Told me that she had stole like $500 from her boyfriend or something like that. I still think she put something in my drink because I laid back on the bed and passed out. The last thing I remember is laying back on the bed, and I completely drifted away. It was this dude named Pops that everybody in the hood used to come and basically smoke and drink with. You know what I'm saying? It was one time this one lady that used to be over there also. I think her name was Tasha. I never had sex with her though. I remember one time I walked in the kitchen and I was like feeling on her and stuff like that. And she was like, I'll fuck with you tomorrow. I'll fuck with you tomorrow. But I never ended up following through with it. I had sex with this one lady that stayed a little bit further down. Like around like West Chicago and what is it called? Rutherford or something like that. Going towards Southfield Freeway way. I don't know, yo. It used to be ladies that used to hop in that car, yo, and then I mess with them, and they would purposely leave their panties in that cab back in the day. Or they'll even when some of the ladies I used to bring into the house, the main lady that used to step into that house with me was this girl named Deanna. This one lady named Sierra. This one lady named I didn't bring a lot of people in that house, yo. I didn't. This one lady named Daytona. Speaking of kitchens, yo, when I had sex in St. George, South Carolina, I only had sex one time in the city of St. George, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I didn't count when I was basically doing foreplay with some of them ladies because I didn't penetrate them. They didn't put their mouth on my penis. So anytime I was kissing on some lady nipples or something or just playing with her pussy, I did not include that. So when I did that with this lady named Maya, I didn't include her because I didn't penetrate her. I didn't bust a nut with her. When I also spoke with this girl named Sierra, that I drove all the way across the bridge to James Island to mess with, but I did not penetrate her. I did not, I was just like doing foreplay with her and stuff like that. I never included her, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't see that as sex because I didn't bust a nut, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. So, of course, June 2021, I received oral sex from this lady in Walterboro. That's the city next to St. George, South Carolina. And then, again, did I say June 2021? Okay, yeah. And then right after that, it was this girl named Jana in Holly Hill. That's another city. Then I had sex with this lady named Shar. And right after I got done having sex with her, I was like, I should have never done this. Like, you with somebody, I should have never done this. I immediately said I should not have never done this. She tried to corner me off in the kitchen. She put her arms up like on the door while I'm in the kitchen arguing with her. And she was like, why you choose to have sex with me if you like that's my choice. That's my choice. That's my choice to, determine if I'm gonna stop talking to you or not. She told me that. Basically was telling me if I stop talking to her, it's her call. It's her choice. And I was like, yo, get up out of here, yo. And at that moment, I said, I knew I ain't had no business messing with you. And I repented, and I should have just left it alone at that. But then I messed with this lady one more time in Reedsville, South Carolina. And after I got done having sex with her, that was the last time I engaged in sex in February 2022. Met her at the Shell gas station, yo. Was sitting in her kitchen. And she was literally recording me while she was sitting at the table in her mobile home in Reedsville, smiling. Like she was looking down at her phone like this, like, I'm like, what you doing? She's like, I'm on Snapchat. That lady was the same age as me, 32 years old. I thought she was a little bit older than me, to be honest. Told me about how she grew up in the Army. Like her parents was in the Army when she was younger. She was married, but she got a divorce. She got some ex-boyfriend that's crazy. I don't know how many kids she had. She told me she had a daughter. And she had also a brother that was a little bit younger than me. And like I said, we had sex, and when we finished having sex, the condom came up missing. I was just looking like, yo, where that condom at? That was February 2022. Met her in February 2022. Had sex with her one time in February 2022, and did not have sex with her again after that. That was the last time I engaged in sex. So the point I'm making is I was sitting in like that lady kitchen when I was talking to her, sitting at the table. She probably recorded me too because she got up and started playing in my hair. But lately I've been thinking about like kitchens and stuff like that. I don't know if that lady named Tasha way back in like 2012 made up some lie about me. I never had sex with her. That lady Shar, I had sex with her one time and I left her alone. I committed adultery. That was messed up. And I don't even want to talk about it no more, man. That's in the past, yo. I'm just glad that I like stopped talking to that lady. You feel me? And then that lady in Reedsville, that was it. And I'm gonna say this one more time. That lady Shar, I met her in the summertime of 2019, and I got her number, and she told me she was with somebody, and I stopped talking to her right after that. I said, I can't fuck with you. I still remember sending her the text message when I was at my Aunt Ethel house telling her, I can't fuck with you. I still remember that like it was yesterday. But October 31st, 2021, Halloween night in Charleston, South Carolina, I drove to the strip club in Charleston, South Carolina, and I was just out there parking lot pimping. And I caught me a little buzz. So I just started sending out a whole lot of text messages to everybody who number I got that night, and then also other people who I ain't talked to, who some lady number I got probably a month ago or a couple months ago, maybe even a year ago. I was just like sending out messages, and I got a response back from that lady, Shar. She sent me a picture. I'm like, I don't recognize you. I don't remember you. Then I saw her in person. I'm like, I still don't remember you. And then we had sex a couple days after that. But then when she told me where I met her at, I remember because I met her at a gas station. And I got her number at this gas station. And then I stopped talking to her, yo. I got her number at the gas station. She was out there putting air in her tires. She had on some pink pants. She had her either her daughter, her niece, her stepdaughter. It was some light-skinned girl with her. And I got the lady Shar number. And then she told me that she was married. And I was like, I'm good. I ain't fucking with you. And I stopped talking to her. That was in the summertime of 2019 because I still remember I was in that white Charger when I got her number. Shar was like real like thick, and she was like darker than me, like a caramel skin or a little bit darker than caramel skin. Stop talking to her. November 2021, I met up with her. We had sex, and then I feel like that was an immediate mistake. That was just not even a mistake. That was just a bad choice. And I said, I ain't doing this no more. I repented, prayed to God for forgiveness, and then by February 2022, I had sex with this lady in Reedsville, yo, and that was it. So I just been thinking about, I don't know, I've been thinking about like the settings of rooms lately in the kitchen, and I don't know if somebody made up some kitchen lie about me. I don't know. But at this point, I've already said everything that I said before. I said it a bunch of times. I'm just talking in circles at this point now. That girl Shoni, yo, no disrespect to her for what I'm about to say. I think Shoni mad at me for this because I think somebody hacked in my phone and passed the videos around. The first night that I had sex with Shoni, right before that, I had sex with this this light-skinned chubby chick, dog, that stayed around like Greenfield and Warren. And that lady told me she was pregnant. You know, I had sex with her. She told me she was pregnant. The light-skinned chick. She told me she was pregnant. And after I got done having sex with her, I dropped her off, got in the shower, and then Shoni hit me up. She stayed in Redford somewhere. I never told Shoni that. And I remember like I remember laying in the bed with Shoni just talking to her like, dang, yo, I got a cousin that I just like start back hanging out with, this and that. And I was just talking about how like it's real fucked up how, you know, I heard he had got shot in like late 2012 or early 2013, and I thought it wasn't that bad, but now that I see his arm, it really is kind of bad. I remember talking to her about that kind of stuff. And I was really just like trying to burn time because I had bust like 2 nuts before I even came through. And then me and her had sex by the time the sun came up. And I never told her that I was with this other lady before her. But that was the last time I had sex with that light-skinned chick. You know what I'm saying? I met up with her probably at like the end of 2013 or something, but I didn't have sex with her again. But what's so weird to me, what's so fucking weird is, I pulled up on her. The first time we had sex, it was like at the house that I stayed at. The second time I pulled up on her on Warren and Greenfield somewhere where she stayed at or used to stay at or something like that. That house that she was in though, that house I recognized that house because I had picked up some people from the house before in that cab and dropped them off around Chicago and like Hubble before. But I never did anything with those ladies that stayed around Chicago and Hubble. I got their number, but one time I sent them a message like, hey, please don't text me again. Because on that particular day, I was supposed to be fucking with them, and they had me drop them off at some niggas' crib. I still remember that shit, and I remember being mad at them for that shit. So that light skinned chick, she must have had known some of them girls that stayed in that house. I didn't even say them. I just walked in the house like, I just looked around like, damn, I recognize this house. And what's so weird, I thought either it was a crazy ass coincidence or that light skinned chick. It was this chubby light skinned girl, yo. I had a video of her giving me head in my Galaxy 1. You know what I'm saying? I never uploaded that video. I never gave that video to anybody. Somebody stole my phone on Schoolcraft and Evergreen back in the summertime of 2013. Stole that Galaxy 1, yo. I don't think Shoni was in that phone. I don't think I had sex with Shoni in that phone, but I did have this girl named Giselle in that phone, and also this girl named Audrey or Cookie in that phone also. And the light-skinned chick, that stayed at Warren and Greenfield, this shit crazy. Like, I drove all the way on the east side one day. I dropped some people off on the east side one day. Drove all the way on the east side. I just pulled up at a liquor store after I dropped them off. I didn't even go to the closest liquor store. I drove for probably like a few miles. I'm riding through the east side. I just pulled up at a store. I get out the car. I go walking into the store at a liquor store. I see the light-skinned chick like walking into the store around the same time. I just looked over at her and just went right back to minding my business. Like, I was like, damn, the world is small, of all people. But I think that lady was stalking me, yo. I think that light-skinned girl was stalking me. And my idiotic ass back in the day, the only reason why I had sex with her without a condom was because she told me she was pregnant. But I think she was stalking me, yo. That girl told me she had already had kids and everything. But lately I've been thinking about like kitchens and shit like that, so I don't know what's all happening. Man, look, if it's some lady in California saying that she had a baby by me or something like that, somebody found a way to get my nut, yo. Somebody did something to me in my sleep and got my nut. Like, that's the only way. It's been times I put like a sock on my dick and just watched the porno and thought about it like, damn, I should just beat off right now. I should just jack off. I should just masturbate. And I don't do it. But it's no way that somebody could take a little bit of pre-cum that's in a sock and then be like, no, like hell no, fuck no. No. You got to actually bust a nut in order for somebody to try to use that and then impregnate themselves. You got to actually masturbate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be thinking it's like 20 women out here lying, saying that they got impregnated by me. I don't know. Some told me to just look out the window, and I said, I don't know, see somebody else, see some lady outside. But it was this one lady that looked kind of like Raven Simone back in the day, yo. I wanted to have sex with her so bad, but we never had sex. We used to just talk shit back and forth with each other. When I used to go to that dude named Pop's house that was off of West Chicago, in Greenfield, West Chicago, and like Robeson or something like that. It was this light skinned girl that came through there, man, and it was also this one nigga. I forgot his name. This dude had like a mini fro. He told me that he had smashed her. I forgot his name though. I don't know if she making up a lie. I wanted to smash her. I wanted to fuck her. You know what I'm saying? We had got drunk with them one day and everything. She was like a light skinned Raven Simone. She was real thick, yo. I still remember this. I don't know how she looked now, but when somebody put a block on your phone and then basically let it be known to everybody else, you could say whatever, you could do whatever. People go say it, whatever, and do whatever. Back to that dream that I had though. I had a dream that I was outside of that house on Chicago and Terry Street, and that one lady that moved in that house by February 2014 was standing out there. She had a whole bunch of mail and shit in her coat, and I just like unzipped her coat a little bit. I was like, what the hell is that? Then a whole bunch of mail fell out, a whole bunch of envelopes, all that shit fell out. And she had a real messed up look of guilt and sadness on her face. She had tears in her eyes. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell? You stashing shit? You know what I'm saying? So I was under the belief that maybe it was people sending me a bunch of letters at one point in time at that house on Chicago and Terry Street. Maybe I missed something. But I had been living in Fort Myers, Florida since December 2013, yo. And sometimes, still to this day, I be thinking to myself, when I came back to Detroit, February 2014, I still be wondering, still to this day, I be wondering, was that Sean peeking through that window, yo? Was that nigga? I be wondering, was that him, yo? Because if so, that mean the last time I seen that nigga was February 2014. It wasn't November 2013. Me and that nigga got extra fucked up on Thanksgiving Day and then got into an argument with each other. That nigga left for a minute and then came back later on. Last time I talked to that nigga on the phone was January 2014. He told me that some niggas had broke into my mom's crib that he was hanging out with and stole the flat screen TV. Some niggas from Southwest Detroit, they used to stay around like Plymouth and Evergreen way. They was from Southwest Detroit, but they stayed around over there on Plymouth and Evergreen. Literally Evergreen. Like, I remember I pulled up over there one time with that nigga Shamar, I was about to say that nigga Shamar, with that nigga with Sean. And still to this day, I say this. It was something weird about them because when Sean was telling me the story one time about how some shit happened in Southwest Detroit when they was hanging out with them niggas. And when I basically left from their crib, I was like, all right, I'll holler at y'all later. And then I had my hand up like this, basically saying like, all right. Like, you know, I had just met them. That was some of Sean people that he knew from Southwest Detroit. I held up my hand like this to this one lady to shake her hand. The nigga was like, hey, shake his hand. It was a dude that stayed there. I think he said he was in the Navy or something. The lady shook my hand like this. Like, she did like that. I'm like, all right, I'll holler at y'all. She did like this. So that was basically her saying, nigga, nigga, fuck you. Like, no, I ain't shaking your hand, whatever. If it's somebody trying to make it look like anything is my fault, especially when it comes to my cousin, dog, I'm telling you, that's gonna come back on you in the worst way. That's gonna backfire, yo. The truth gonna come out, especially when it comes to that. But God bless everybody. I just wanted to speak on this. I wasn't even gonna upload nothing else.